Hey guys, Asher coming at you today with another Raid Shadow Legends Champion Guide. Welcome to the video. Today we have ZII IXCHI, IXCHI. I don't know exactly how you say the name. Either way, it's a 7th rare champion that you get from Doom Tower Normal. Where are you guys, by the way, in your Doom Tower Normal progression here? I just got my hands on Krakarth, so the last rare that we get, or excuse me, the last epic that we get. God, no rares, please, Plarium. I just got my hands on her maybe last month, so I'm kind of making my way, and I still actually have to get to a few of these guides, Gwyneth and Taya specifically here on the channel. So we're going a little bit out of order, but this champion I actually pulled a 6-star Awakening Soulstone for. So I figured let's go ahead and yeah, let's cut in line and see what we can do here. Let's go over a kit actually inside the game. It is a Lizardman epic champion, Force Affinity. She looks pretty cool, I guess. You know, I don't know. Not my fave, not my least fave in terms of aesthetics on this Lizardman. Attack-based epic again. On the A1 ability, Brushed Choppers attacks one enemy, has a 15% chance of placing an extra hit on that A1. On the A2, Crown Breaker, 4-turn cooldown when booked out. Now, do you want to book this champion? That's the big question of today's video. Attacks one enemy, will ignore shield and block damage buffs. Places a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. Okay, I'm expecting massive multipliers on this ability for it to justify a single target hit on a 4-turn cooldown. Namely from one of the champions that we get, you know, towards the end of the Doom Tower normal progression. So block damage and shield, I mean, it's definitely an anti-Helicath type champion. Only problem is she's Force Affinity. So trying to find a viable use case for her. Let's just keep reading here. On the A3, Ancient Rage, 4-turn cooldown, but we do have an extra turn mechanic built into this kit. Plays an increased crit damage, increased attack buff on this champion for 3 turns, which is good on a 4-turn cooldown. Then the extra turn as well. On the passive, Assassin of Kings. Whenever this champion kills an enemy, decreases the cooldown of the Crown Breaker skill by 1 turn. And again, that is the hard-hitting A2. So in terms of actual abilities that are doing damage here, we have a self-buff, we have just the A2 and the A1. Okay. Now the cool thing is we can reduce the cooldown of the A2 vis-a-vis the Assassin of Kings if we kill somebody, provided the multipliers are high enough. More on that in just a moment. And the increased crit damage, increased attack is going to make sure that we can always get the most out of this champion in terms of damage, not having to worry about setups and buffs from other champions. The extra turn on this ability too will have a mechanic in PvE to where it's going to be eventually start reducing the cooldown of the A2 as well vis-a-vis that extra turn. In PvP, not so much because we're going to be using Ancient Rage first and then, you know, going into the A2 and then the long cooldowns after that. So base stats here, 14k, low on the HP, 1400 on the attack. That would be high for an epic champion. And then 914 about average for an attack-based champion. And then speed at 99. So overall, not blown away by the stats, but I do like that healthy amount of attack. Let's go ahead and look right at the multipliers here, guys. We have a 2.7 on the A1, which is just an average overall damage rating. That sucks. We do get a chance of repeating the attack. 2.7 is actually not bad for an A1, though. So to me, I would probably put it at above average when you consider that attack, base attack. On the A2, they give it's a 5 multiplier, but they grade it an average. Again, I would say this is closer to godlike, honestly, especially for an epic, you know? Granted, is this enough to justify building the champion? Probably not. Spoiler alert. But I think that that's a really good multiplier, 5, especially considering we're ignoring shield and block damage with the base attack. So I would actually grade it a lot better in terms of the overall damage grading. Now, where can we use this champion? Well, Doom Tower, a star in every category. I would again disagree here with hellhades.com. By the way, nothing, you know, we disagree, we agree sometimes, nothing against the website. I use it all the time. It's my favorite website out there for Raid by far. That being said, though, Yeah, on ally attack teams, why not, right? Hard-hitting A1 with a chance of repeating the attack. Obviously not going to pertain to ally attack specifically, but it's not bad, right? A lot of damage against Magic Affinity bosses. So I'm thinking about like the Griffin, areas like that. I would probably give her like a 3 instead of a 2, maybe a 2.5, or instead of a 1, maybe a 2.5. Eternal Dragon, Celestial Griffin, you know, pretty limited viability, but you could definitely use her there. Just for sheer damage as well against Magma Dragon, you could use her there as well. Hard mode, a 1. Dude, someone does not like, on staff there at Hell Hades, someone does not like this champion, man. I am not a massive fan of this champ, but basically, I do think that she's closer to average in a lot of these areas just for raw damage, and that's basically it. They give her a 2 in the arena, and let's be real, I mean, if we're going to be using a single target nuker inside the arena out of epics, there's still quite a few better options. Namely, Faceless comes to mind, you know. But anyway, let's go ahead and give her a try here, guys. I built her in Cruel Gear. Let me go ahead and show you the build real quickly here. So, ZII IXCHI. ZII IXCHI. I hope that's how you say it. We got 2 Cruel, 1-piece Stone Skin. Hey, if you're going to run a broken set, might as well go Stone Skin or Protection, right? Get the extra HP or whatever. Is Protection HP the first one too? I think it is. Let me look real quick. Protection, I mean, there's something so valuable. Resistance, my bad, then HP. But there's something so valuable in getting a 20 resistance bonus or an 8% HP bonus off of a 1 piece of gear. It's like a 5th stat added to the substats, right? Anyway, we have attack on the banner. We have crit damage on the amulet. We have attack on the ring. I didn't really even glyph out most of this gear. Some of it previously used is obviously glyphed. I didn't ascend or anything like that as well. We have HP percentage on the chest. We don't want that. I mean, HP is fine for some survivability, but we do want attack percentage. We just want to see how much damage this champion can put out, right, at the end of the day here. So let me go ahead and priority stat, crit rate. We're not going to care too much about set filters here. Can we get, yeah, we can get some stuff here. Perfect. All right. So pretend you didn't see any of that. We have attack percentage on the chest, guys. We do have crit damage on the gauntlets. And then we're looking for just attack. There's no reason for accuracy on this champion. So 196, 100, 257 in terms of speed, crit rate, crit damage. Stat priorities on this champion are going to be attack, crit rate number 1 at 100%, and then attack and crit damage, 1B and 1C, I guess. So, or 2A, 2B, there we go, in terms of priorities. Again, no need for crit damage. Obviously, survivability is going to be important. The defense might not sound like much at 912, but it's not too bad, as I mentioned earlier, especially for an epic-based champion. So we went with Crushing Rend, guys. Again, I mentioned I pulled a 6-star blessing for this very mediocre or below average champion, right? So we're just going to see what she can do here. I went with, again, Crushing Rend. I think it's the most powerful 6-star blessing in the game, including legendary blessings. Obviously depends a bit on the champion, right? But every hit will ignore a percentage of the target's defense, 1% for every 10 levels. Very, very good. Speed, attack, crit damage. We'll take it all, right? We'll take it all. We went down here for Masteries and we picked up Retribution. We on the defense side of things, excuse me, blast proof to mitigate damage. Offense, we went with kind of a nuker build. I didn't need the extra crit rate, so I went with Blade Disciple instead for the extra attack. Of course, I think most people are going to just start out with Deadly Precision instead. We came down Shield Breaker, Ruthless Ambush, Opportunist. You guys know the good Arena and PvP Masteries. I say Arena and PvP, but obviously this also pertains to basically anything that's not a boss in the game. So other waves of champions that we face outside as well. Helm Smasher as a tier 6. We went with Kill Streak over Deterrence. You can go either way there. We went with Methodical as well. Powering up that A1 that's not too bad in terms of the damage, right? Okay, that's it, guys. Other blessing options on this champion, I guess it would be pretty obvious, right? We would go maybe Cruelty as well. Decrease target's defense by 4%, up to 20% against bosses, 40% against champions. This would be utilized in a longer battle. I just can't think of many longer battles that you'd be using this champion in, frankly. Seems like a very niche arena champion with some ally attack potential. And that's really it. There's no AoE in this kit at all. I really wish there was an AoE. Let's go ahead and see what we can do here regardless, guys. Let's go against, I don't know, this first team here. I have her on a speed team as basically the only damage dealer on this squad. Sorry if I keep running the same, like, trifecta here of Madame Seraph, Prince Kaimar, and Arbiter. I'll try to switch things up a little bit more in the future when we go to the arena, but it's easy to kind of slot in a nuker in the this third position. So we are going to lead off with the A3 to get that increased crit damage, although we already have the increased attack from Arbiter. We're going to test out the A2. We have no choice other than to attack Ultimate Death Knight, which makes a lot of sense since everybody else is sleeping anyway. So 121,000 damage. Yeah. Spoiler, well, the spoiler's done now, right? She can really smack. Which is really cool, right? That's why I gave her more than a 2 in the arena, and she hits like a legendary single target nuker. She hits like a Faceless. As I mentioned earlier, I really want to say that Faceless is the 161,000. I really want to say that Faceless is like her competition when it comes to epic single target attackers, especially with that self-buff ability. It's really nice. You can see that she has that block damage because she killed somebody with that A2, which does happen a lot. Let's go ahead and speed boost and then come back in here, remove some buffs, and let her go to town with the A1 a little bit. 131k on the A1. I mean, she smacks. Problem is, you know, okay, great, she smacks. But is that enough to justify building her and booking her and everything else? I probably would argue not. By the time that you get her, you probably have other options. It's cool that she is a really, really strong single target nuker. Let's do it again. Let's go after UDK. Again, we have no choice, but let's just come at 148,000 damage. I mean, that might even be more than Faceless can put out, you know? So again, very fun champion to mess around with, right? Like throwing out some big time single target nukes. Let's go ahead. I mean, we're going to be able to easily one-shot everybody. 150k. And then again with the block damage, which is nice because she's fairly squishy, so we can keep her alive. I think you guys get the point. She can really smack with this ability. I do want to go out against like one more, a little bit tankier team here. Let's see what we got. Problem is Helicath teams, as we mentioned, are not going to be ideal for this champion, nor is really a team like this with a Valkyrie and a Ragash, because she's just going to be landing a lot of weak hits, right? This is a Krisk UDK with a Baron, kind of a weird team, but kind of a hybrid of go first, go second. I guess it's a go second, but with Arbiter as a speed lead, which is interesting. We're going to come in here and put them all to sleep, and basically, she's a good UDK killer, right? You just need somebody in there to remove the stone skin ahead of times. She's going to ignore shield with that A2, so we don't have to even worry about bolster or anything like that. She's going to come in there and smack down, right? So overall, a fun champion, like I said. I don't think she's quite as bad as the reviews say she is. It's just, well, we get smoked by Baron, right? Let's see if Arbiter can revive everybody and get a second chance at this. Oh, I used a revive as a speed boost. Oops. But you guys kind of get the point in terms of the damage, right, on this champion. Not bad, right? Not bad at all. Like, really good. Really good. Only problem is, it's just like, you know, who uses only a single target nuker not named Rhodos or Turvold inside the arena, you know? I guess if you don't have, like, a Rhodos and a Turvold, you could potentially run her in live arena, right? And maybe take some people by surprise at the same time. You know, I guess that's, and maybe it's a bit of a stretch. I do have Secret Room 4, which is epic Lizardmen only. So in this team, she's actually going to be pretty good in terms of probably going to be my main DPS. Well, I have Basilisk on the team too. It'll be interesting to see who puts out more damage, her or Basilisk or Venomage, right? So we have some interesting choices there. You can see her going in with that A2. Almost took out a Broadmaw there, the Reviver, which is nice. She's going to get a nice counterattack on that A1. She has that Crushing Rend. Now, we do have Broadmaw on our team too. I was like, she's going to die, so that's a problem. But we do have a Reviver, so we'll be able to pick her right back up. But let's see. Let's see how the damage ends up there. That was, again, that A1. Not bad, right? Not bad at all on the damage there. So if you're looking for a Force Affinity epic champion who can deal a lot of single target damage, look no further, guys. I do think she's worth considering, maybe for... By the time that you get her, you're not going to need faction war help, right? For like 99% of players. So I think, you know, this Secret Room, specifically on this rotation, she could be a good DPS for you. She could be a fun niche live arena champion. But that's pretty much about it. An ally attacker maybe on those magic affinity bosses as well. But the fact that she's so squishy as well, she has that block damage mechanic, which is cool. I would almost like that to be a passive, apply to the A1 as well. Anytime she kills a champion, she puts block damage on herself, right? That wouldn't be that big of a buff or anything like that. But it would be, I don't know. I just think that you guys know this. I've repeated this on every Doom Tower champion that we talk about here on the channel. It's just, I think they ought to be a little bit better across the board. I'm not looking for the most OP champions inside the entire game or anything crazy like that. But I do think that, they should be kind of special, not very underwhelming. And I feel like, for the most part, there are a few exceptions, but for the most part, I feel like these champions are fairly underwhelming. Very interested to see her damage compared to Basilisk here at the end of this video. Let's go ahead and check it out. Because Basilisk, I mean, he has an AoE on the A1. He has a stun on the A2. This is just a random, Force Affinity epic champion that doesn't take, I don't know, what, 8 months, 1 year to farm, So let's see. Although I will say, I was going to say she's definitely better in the arena than Basilisk, but I'm not sure I believe that. I don't know. She hits harder. I can say that on single target. So Basilisk, Z outdamages everybody except for Venomage. Venomage coming in with 1,000 extra damage. Anyway, guys, there she is with a 6-star blessing, no less, though. You got to take that into consideration as well. So overall, I would probably say, unless you're looking to have some niche fun outside the box with an off-meta champion, probably a pass, probably a Vault Lord for you guys to have. Hopefully they do go through and buff some of these Doom Tower champions in the future, and if they do, I will revise these guides. Guys, keep the guide requests coming. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care.